Hello everybody and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me as I try to show off the best of modern retro gaming. Today we're continuing our insane difficulty playthrough of Coromon. Coromon is a fun monster training game that is coming up soon. The demo is available now on Steam and I would highly recommend it. You should go check it out. Check out the demo, play it a little bit, and wishlist the game on Steam. The link is in the description below. What we're doing right now is we are leveling up. We're doing a little bit of grinding today, and we got someone quickly. We tried to go into the power tower and found out we were not quite tough enough. So we're gonna grind up here a little bit, get all of our Coromon up to level 20, and then we will take on the power tower again. It does appear, considering some of the comments that I've been getting on the description, that a few of you are having a little bit of trouble with certain aspects of the power tower. One of the things I had someone comment about the level 2, I think in my first playthrough, I named the video a maze of switch and doors. Level 2 of the power tower is basically you got a bunch of doors that have switches and you got to like switch them, open and close doors, and try to figure out the way through the level. It is kind of tricky. I'm not sure if I can give you any like particular advice on that level. The problem is a lot of the times I don't recall what the level layout is. I go in, it goes in my head, I play the episode, and then it goes out. So unfortunately, I don't have it memorized. When I get back into the power tower and do level 12, or level 2, sorry, we will, look at it and I'll try to explain it the best I can and show out how the best way to go through that. But a couple of thoughts to keep in mind: each switch is of course marked with a symbol, and that controls 2 doors. The switch, when you flip it, will open one door and close the other. So I'm not sure that's going to help, but kind of look where the switches are. And you just got to kind of find the right switches. Unfortunately, there's not much I can say other than I got lost in the twilight. No. Other than that, I'm trying to think. There's really, you just got to look. You got to take each area, and I wouldn't recommend flipping a bunch of switches. What I would do is flip one switch, go through where you can, find out what it opens, and then what can you do, because a lot of times one switch will open a door that allows you to open other switches or flip other switches. So I don't go in through flipping all the switches as you go. What I would do is go in, find the first switch, flip it, look around, see what it did, and did that open another switch? What switch are you looking to do? That sort of thing. I think that might help. Each icon does represent a certain a door. The icon shape above the door and above the switches do correspond. There are a few that are tricky. I always get mixed up on the angled ones because they're one that goes if you're like looking at it from left to right, there's one that goes up and then there's one that goes down. Those different angles of, I guess, the X, the 2 opposite lines of an X, can get a little confusing sometimes. But the best, you just kind of keep at it and keep on flipping the switches. You will eventually, and the good thing, once you get somewhere, you'll be able to see, oh, I need this door to be open. So then you go out and look for that switch that corresponds to that door. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you got to flip a switch on and off to open up a door. so that you can go flip a switch, and then you have to come back and flip that one you just flipped so that it, you know, then you can get to where that door, you know, that you just opened. So it is kind of confusing. I hope that helps out a little bit. Like I said, when I get to that, I don't think he's leveled up to, no, he has not leveled up to 20 yet. When I get to that part, I will definitely try to take a little bit of extra time and look over it. And oh, there's another spinner, another little thing there. Try to take a little bit extra time and explain, you know, what I'm doing, what switches I'm flipping, how that affects. But when I get back to the power tower and level 2, we'll look into that. Hopefully we'll be able to help you that are having trouble with that part of the game. I hope I can help you out a little bit. The other thing, it seems like a lot of people are having trouble with that puzzle, the fuse puzzle in level 4 of the power tower. Now this one's a whole different trick. It's again, it's one that hard to just sit here and explain how to figure it out. I do have an episode, and if you go to the hard difficulty playthrough, level episode 15, about 15 minutes in, I talk about how I figured it out. So that's probably my best recommendation right away. But a little bit of it, they've changed the way the game played throughout as the demo progressed. So if you're looking at videos and it shows, you know, you have the places where you put fuses, and then down on the floor it shows, you know, what you put down, and then it has that little section of, you know, what you did right and wrong and that sort of stuff. If in that section it's using black and white pegs or black and white dots, that's the old way. So you need to find a video that shows one that there's icons now. So there's a check mark, an arrows pointing left and right, and then a red X down on the floor, and that's what you need to find. Once you find that, as Moffle's still level 12. So once you find a video that's that way, which is, you know, my hard difficulty episode 15 is that way, that's the one you want to look at. That's the one that is the most up to date as far as the information I have currently. That's the first thing you need to look for when you're doing that. It also depends on the difficulty level that you play at. If I remember correctly, that level or easy, you have 5 colors, normal 6, hard 7, and insane 8. So as you go up in difficulty level, you get more colors, which makes it more difficult. When you're going to put this in, I would recommend in the first 2 rows, the first 2 guesses, use up all the colors. So, or as much as you can. If you have to repeat colors, yeah, you have to repeat colors. But, like if you have 8 colors, let's just go to the insane, that would take up the first 2 rows. So the first row should be all different colors, and the second row should be all different colors that are left, and then you have to repeat some. And the reason to do that is in those first 2 rows, you'll be able to figure out what colors are there and what are not, or at least give you a good idea of what colors are there or not. So if, oh wait, I forgot to also mention what the icons mean. If you have a check mark, that means the right color is in the right spot. If there's a 1 there, it means there's 1 color is in the right spot. If there's a 2, that means 2 colors are in the right spot, and so on. If you have the arrows, the left and right arrows, that means you have the right color on the board. It's just in the wrong spot. And likewise, if there's a 1 there, that means one of the colors are right, but it's in the wrong spot. If there's 2, that means there's 2 colors that are right, but they're both in the wrong spot. So that's kind of the way to, and then the X means one that's completely wrong. That color's not even used. So in the first 2 guesses, you'll be able to go through all the different colors. And that's what's going to really help you out, is to figure out, because if you put in 4 colors in the first one, and the likelihood is probably very little, but if they're all 4, if there's a 4 under the X, then you know that none of those colors are used. Or if there's a 2 under the X, you know that 2 of those colors are not used. Now you have to figure out a little bit of those colors, figure out a little bit about, which colors those are. But do I have a, no, I do not, but do I have a poisoned shock? Let's see if I can give this to him and see if that will remove that shock when he goes to fight again. I'm also going to give him a small SPK. I have 12 of those. I could use quite a bit of those. So that's kind of how you do it. You just do the first 2 lines, like I said, is different colors as much as you can. And especially when you are in not insane, easy, normal, or hard, being able to duplicate some of those colors in the second row also helps you out, because then you're able to, what was I gonna say there? It gives you an extra chance to see which colors. So like if you're on normal, that has 6. So if you have 2 that are not used in the first row, and then the 2 extra colors are in the second row, and you also have 2 that are not used, it helps you figure out which colors are used. Oh, perfect. Awesome. It worked. So it got rid of its shock. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. But yeah, again, when I get to that level, when I get to level 4, I'll try to explain it a little bit more in depth with, what I'm doing and exactly what colors I'm choosing and why I'm choosing, that sort of thing. When I get there, I'll make sure that I really, enunciate and take time to focus on that puzzle, because I see that you guys are seeming to have a little bit of trouble with that. So that is the best I could do, just without it right in front of me, to help you guys out, to maybe give you a few pointers on how to do those different 2 different puzzles. Again, I've mentioned this before, I like that they put in puzzles immediately. I really like how they did the 2 different sets here. I do feel that there is a big gap between the levels that are in the Thunder's Cave, because I'm getting 12, I think, is the max I'm getting in Thunder's Cave, and you start out at 16, I think, is the first level that the trainers are in the power tower, which is a pretty big gap in my opinion. But I like how they did that differently, that one has the random encounters and one does not, and is a puzzle. I really like that puzzle basedness, I guess, of the power tower. It gives you a little bit of a reprieve. You're not worrying so much about the random encounters all the time, and sometimes when you're just trying to get through an area, it's a lot easier to just focus on the puzzle and focus on where those trainers are and be able to defeat them that way. So I really like that offset. The only thing that I would probably, one of the only things that I would complain about right now, there's 2 minor things. One of them being that I think the level gap between the Thunderous Cave and the power tower is a little too big. I think 4 levels right there is a little too much, but also I don't like that there's only 2 saves. Those are the 2 things that so far I would, if I had to choose things to complain about, those are the 2 things that are probably the most annoying to me. I would like to have at least 2 more saves. I would like to have 4 saves. But yeah, I'm very much love the game. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. Actually, I'm having the most fun grinding I have ever done. So he's going to be attack and HP, I think. No, speed. That's what I've been doing, attack and speed on him. Those are sometimes tricky because I try to set up like an idea, a theme for the different characters, but then halfway through the game I completely forget what the theme is I was working on for that character, and then end up completely not doing it. There's a couple that I usually remember. One of them is, I know Armadill's on my always my tank, so he gets defense and HP, and then like Guildwing and Mothful are my speed guys that they get speed and attack. But other ones I've usually just put in something. I'm not sure how much. I know it matters, but really, if I put 1 more into speed or 1 more into defense or something like that, how hurt will it really push us? I am seeing, it doesn't appear that there's this little, there's a, look at that. I found 800 gold. I was like, I'm pushing this little rock over here. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I mean, like there's no trainer over there. There's no, there wasn't anything over there. So I was a little worried. I did see a treasure chest up here too. So let's go and grab that as well while we're wandering around. Ooh, a combi cake. I like the combi cakes. They're very useful. So yeah, I very much, this game has definitely been, one that I really don't mind grinding in. Surprisingly, it's just, it's all a surprise, yeah, I've played fought a Buzzlet several times, but to just to kind of get to see what's coming up, it's all still pretty much unknown to me. I've never seen a perfect yet, which I'm really excited to be able to see when that comes up. I'll be super stoked when that happens. You still can, even on insane difficulty, you could always catch a perfect, which is good. That's, will be very useful. I'm looking at all these little columns here. I'm looking around them to make sure I'm not missing anything, but so perfect would be nice to have, but at this point I don't know if I'd put him in my party, because unless it was like a level 12, if it was near the level of my lowest Coromon that I'm going to level up anyways, then I might. But if it's like a level 8 or level 6 perfect, I might not take the time right now, but it's cool. I'd love to see a perfect, and they're really rare from what I've seen. The dev has been gracious enough to be watching the videos and commenting, and it's just amazing that he has taken the time to do so. That's very awesome. Very much appreciative of that. But he's been throwing out little tips and tricks there. But yeah, you could always catch a perfect no matter which difficulty, which is a very good thing to know. Just in case we lose one of my Coromon again, we can always go and see if we can find another perfect. But they're very rare. He did put in the probability I do not recall the probability that he mentioned. It's on one of the videos. I'm thinking it's like 1 in 3,200, but that might not be right. That might be way off, but yeah, it's a whole discovery here. And I think I mentioned in one of the earlier videos, I have played one, how do I want to say that? I don't want to say one Pokemon game because I've played other ones. One core Pokemon, one of the role-playing Pokemon games. I've only played one, and it was Red, I believe. It was one of the, Red or Blue was one of the, I think the first set that came out. But by the time I played it 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. But the time I played it, I've already played Pokemon Go. I've played the Pokemon board game. I have played Pokemon, what's the one you take pictures of? There's a Pokemon game where you're supposed to take pictures of, and I can't think of the name of it, but I've played that. I knew a lot about the Pokemon. I've watched the TV series. So when I was going and I think I'm gonna have him just H attack, yeah, HP and attack. So by the time I got around to playing the first Pokemon, true, core Pokemon game, I knew it all. I knew not all of it. I don't want to say that. I don't want to be like bragging. Oh, I knew everything. But there was a lot less mystery to it because I knew certain evolutions. I knew that this character was good, or what a Snorlax did, or I knew a lot about it. So there wasn't that element of surprise or wonder. In this, it's kind of the same thing. I won't go to the same thing because I don't think that this game is just Pokemon redone. It really isn't, in my opinion. Yes, they've taken some inspiration from this or some other monster training games, but yes, I would like to just go ahead and take a nap. But it does so much different. You've got your special moves, and your own little theme. I really like that it's not just trainer battles. You're not trying to just be the best. You're not trying to just beat. Why am I missing? Is it the swarm diversion? I can't hit this guy with anything. So you're not just, going through different gyms and being a trainer. You actually have a mission, and you're fighting enemies, and I like that a little bit better. That kind of storyline to it, I like that better. Then they've added a lot of things. The skill points adds a whole nother dimension of strategy to it, and to be able to conserve those or rest or what. Oh, hey, there's another chest. Can I get around to it? I think that adds a whole nother aspect to it as well. And just to come up with these again, to come up with all the different creatures and all the evolutions in the world. I mean, there's a lot of work there, a lot of even for the original, like any monster training game, that really impresses me. That ability to come up with all these different concepts like this is really, really impressive. So it's something you got really clever, and really kind of just out there. You've got to like really think outside the box, and the names and stuff is really good. So so far it's been a great game, and again, I have to recommend it. Like I said, I've never been a real hardcore Pokemon fan. I played one a year or two ago, and it was all right. It was a fun game. It was the first. Maybe at that point I shouldn't have been playing the first one. I don't know how they've developed over the time, but the mystery, I think a newer series of the Pokemon games would be a little bit more mysterious because they've added Pokemon over time. Yeah, the mystery that is in this game wasn't there, and then the graphics in the original is just not as good. You're playing on the Game Boy that had very poor graphics and 2 colors. I'm actually completely and utterly lost in here, but I think I'm okay with that. And I don't know in the series of the Monster Training games where this kind of art style would have fell. I would say it's, I don't know, 16-bit, maybe 32-bit-ish. I don't know how that corresponds to the handheld devices, because the at least the Pokemon, I don't know about the other Monster Training games, the Pokemon games have always been on the handheld device, and the Game Boy Advanced, and then the DS's. So I don't know how that corresponds to those. I would say it's probably on the DS level, not only because of the pixel graphics, but it's the amount of pixel graphics in the game. One thing that you've got to realize, that not only I've talked before about the limitations of the graphics in, you know, the Nintendo and the early consoles, but there was also a resolution issue as well that you had to deal. There still may be, you know, 16-bit graphics, or even go back to 8-bit graphics. It could be 8-bit graphics, but now we have, instead of, I think the Nintendo was on 240 pixels in the width, so now we're, you know, 720 or even, you know, 1080 or more, so, you know, 5 times maybe as many pixels across the screen now than when the Nintendo was, you know, originally put out. So the definition, the detail that you could put in, even if it's still just 8-bit, the detail that you could put into those 8 bits is a big deal. Now, again, it's a little confusing what is meant by the 8 bits. It can mean a lot of different things. I mean, once you start applying it to things, 8 bits is fairly, you know, it is 8 bits, but 8, you know, individual bits, 8 on and off, 1 or zeros is what you got. But like I said, in Nintendo there was limitations, but now you don't have those limitations. Not only that, you have a higher resolution that you can put, you know, more pixels on the screen in a certain inch of gameplay, so there's a higher definition of the game. It's hard to, I mean, because I go and look at Nintendo, and because it was limited to the colors, it's hard to explain what that 8-bit is. These, because if you have 8 bits, you are allowed 256 different colors. Now, how many colors does this game use? 256 colors? I honestly could not tell you if it uses this, or you know, it's possible that this only uses 256 colors. With the resolution increase, and with the there's another hidden thing up here, with the resolution increase and the not being limited by the number of colors, it very well could be you can get a lot more. I guess what I'm trying to say is you get a lot more out of 8 bits than you ever could. So it's a little, kind of a little bit of a misnomer, because I guess it's not a misnomer directly, but because, is he level 20? Oh man, he went up to level 20 and I'm still fighting with him. Ah, poo, wasn't paying attention. But it's not really a misnomer because it is 8 bits, but you know, what the common thought of is, you know, so your common thought is that, you know, 8-bit looks like Nintendo. Well, not exactly. So that's really where the difference falls. Where you, like I said, you can get so much more out of 8 bits now. I must have already been up here. Open chest. Ooh, what is it? Is it a perfect? Let it be a perfect. Let it be a perfect, please. I want it to be a perfect so badly. Potent. Oh, come on. I'll never get this. Okay, let's chop them. I will never, ever, ever get a perfect. I am a firm believer of this at this point. Okay, it's fine. We'll get, unfortunately, we spent a little bit too much time on Propeller Man, Powder Bit, but that's all right. We will go ahead and go through and try to get back out of here as best we can. I guess I could use a stinky spray and get out pretty easily, but I like to battle my way out. I probably should pay a little bit more attention to the time so that I know when I need to start heading to out. So again, it's kind of hard to explain or know exactly what 16 or 8 or 16 bits refers to, you know, how that affects the game now. I know a lot of games, you know, boast that, oh, this is, you know, the, you know, harkens back to the 8-bit days or the 16 bit era or something like that, and I know what they're going for, but I also wonder exactly how they are how they try to implement that, because are they limiting their callers? Are they limiting the, you know, the data that they could put on their soundtrack? Exactly what are they doing to the game? And not only are they limiting the callers, are they limiting it the same way as the consoles were limited? Or are they just limiting it to 16-bit callers? Yeah, it's hard to tell. A lot of times because of the differences. I would have to, if I was going to guess, I would have to guess that this is probably at least 16-bit callers. I think there's way too many, but you'd be surprised. 256 callers is a lot of colors, and there you could do a lot with that. But yeah, it's interesting sometimes because I'm not always sure what they mean completely. I know the kind of the idea that they're going for when they say that this is, you know, harkens back to this era, but I am absolutely and totally and unbelievably lost in here now, and I have no idea if I'm ever going to find my way out. Oh gosh, so many. We'll find our way out. Well, it doesn't really matter. I still got Aurora to level, and I also got Mawful to level when it comes down to it. Everybody else is level 20, which is actually working out really well. Oh, that water, I didn't notice that. The water was a very effective. So where I completely and totally lost my track. Oh, I got plenty to level up, so I'm not really worried about, you know, where. Oh, come on, stop getting lost. How long it takes me to get out? I got plenty of health too. HP cakes. I am like just missing him like crazy, and Aurora's getting pounded on here. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and use an item because I can. Yeah, because if I rested, it would use my turn, and I was already a little low on health. So I figured if I, instead of rested, I would use an item to take my health and my SP up. That was my idea there. Come on, let's get through here. Let's run. I could use a sticky spray if I want. We're getting a little long. Maybe I'll just go ahead and end it and battle my way out. Not much is going to end up happening between here and the entrance, I don't think. I think, if I remember correctly, it's up. I went out. Really, I just went out. Oh, there was something over there. Let's see what it is. An HP cake. That's good. Oh yeah, I have to go up and around. We're getting there. We'll get out of. We also have to run through the first level as well. But I think it'll be all right to run on one episode a little long. That way we will also that would help on our amount of SS episodes. This is going to be a full grinding episode, and then hopefully in the next episode we won't be grinding as much. We still got to get Moffle up to the level, but if we can get everybody else up to level 20 in this episode, I think that's going to really help. Instead of spending lots of time on it, we can spend, maybe one episode on trying to get through. Aurora is actually pretty close, I believe. Let's look. No, she still has 700 to the next level, so she's got a while. We still got to level up Marvel 2, so there's quite a little bit. We'll limit it down to 2 episodes, this one, and then basically one for Moffle. I don't know how long it's going to take. Moffle may take longer, just because you've got more levels to go up. But also, these, because they're such a high level already, they're not getting much damage done, so they're able to do more fights. The Moffle will probably have to, go, what am I trying to say? Go back and get healed or use a lot of health potions, and then if I use a lot of health potions, I'll have to buy them and make sure I have, enough and that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm getting a little worried here with the Aurora. She's down to half HP, and I probably will go ahead and Moffle's up to level 14. Sweet. See, that really does take off Coin Snatch, and I don't think in lowering its speed for turn. No, I don't think I want to use that one either. Scratch and Sandball and Tailspin are are going to be effective enough for what I need them to be. Let's go ahead and grab another Combi Cake. Let's go and do a medium one. He's pretty low, 20 and 40. I won't use all of the health, but that's definitely going to help me out a little bit. I'm not sure how much. And the good thing about the Power Tower not having random encounters is that as long as I defeat the trainer, I don't know of the bad guy, as long as I defeat him, then I can run all the way back down and not worrying about being attacked. Aurora could be at like 1 HP, and I can make it all the way back down through and not worry about being attacked and go heal him. So definitely a good thing. So this episode is going to be mostly everybody else. Then the next episode is probably going to be let me look. His special defense. Let's do defense, special attack, and I'm trying to think of get attack, like these defenses even, and then the attacks even. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, he got a bunch of them again. Let's go ahead and just throw them all into special attack, so that Aurora was the well-rounded one. So my attacks, my special attacks, and my attacks and my defense, I'm going to try to have even. So a lot of it's going to go on defense next time, or the next few ones. But Aurora was the rounded well-rounded starter that you could choose. So is this the way out? I think this is the way out. I think it's, yep, I think it's the left and then down again. But yeah, so that's kind of why I did it that way. But yeah, so this one might have to, next episode might have to do a little bit of Aurora, top her off, and then we'll go into Moffle, and Moffle also should do really well in this area because he has sand types are very effective against electric types, which is a lot of what we have here. So yeah, we won't have to do very much of Aurora in the next episode. He'll be pretty, he'll, I don't know if they genders on these guys, pretty close, so I don't think that we'll have to do a whole lot there. Let's see if we can get, let's not do splash on him because that's not going to do any good. But we were able, with that lazy gem, we were able to move Moffle up at least 3 levels. I think he started at I think I started at 8, but I did a couple levels with him, and now he's 14. So we've done 3 or 4 levels of leveling Moffle up just by the lazy gem, which is really cool. I should have used that frost thing. That frostbite would have been a lot better, but yeah, we'll be all right. I am not too worried about. Oh, we're almost out of SP again. Oh, it missed. No. But see, he's only taking a few points off me, a couple points each time, so I'm not too worried. The level disparity here is way too much. But when I go back into the power tower, even at level 20s, I've got to be careful because we're running into what, 18s, 16s, 18s, somewhere around in there. You don't have a huge level advantage over them at that point. Hey, Aurora's on now 20. So you know, it's gonna still be tricky. So let's go ahead and put Moffle up here. Here we go. Let's go. Let's see if we can get one last attack in. Let Moffle do his stuff. Come on, give me an attack. Every time I run around here, I don't want an attack. And now when I want an attack to finish out, I'm gonna run up there and then get like 4 attacks on the way down. Oh shoot. Yeah, I know we've gone long this episode, but I wanted to get some of this done. Yeah, see, you see both of these. Not only is the cut type effective, but also the sand type is effective against electric. So it's gonna be, he's gonna be able to go through these fairly quickly, I think, and not get a lot of hits on. So, and now he's getting all the experience, which is gonna be very helpful. But there we go. Moffle's going to be up, leveling up. Moffle is the going to be in the next episode, and I think then we're going to go in the power tower again. I think I left off at level 2 of the power tower. I'll make sure I kind of try as best I can to go through that level and explain what I'm doing, and then when I get to level 4 as well, I know you guys have, you all have had a lot of questions on this. Just by the comments I've been getting, I'll go through that fuse puzzle one step at a time, why I'm putting these in, what I'm thinking, and go through it really slowly, so that you guys, hopefully that will be able to help you all out. So thank you guys for hanging in with me a little bit longer today. I really do appreciate it. You guys are amazing. The response I've got for this game is overwhelming. The comments, keep them coming. If you like what you're seeing, if you don't like what I'm saying, if you want me to cut, I'd like to keep the grinding in, but if you guys don't want to see all the grinding and hear me just yap about random stuff, let me know. I will, be happy to work with you guys on what you guys like to see. I think that's going to be it for today's episode. I definitely highly recommend, even if you've not been a Pokemon fan or any other, played very many other monster training games, pick up the demo. The demo is free. Go to the description, grab that link, check out the demo. I think you'd really enjoy it. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.